Paul, congratulations first of all, Manager of the Month for November. Tell me how you feel about winning the award.
It's lovely. It's very nice. I think it's recognition for the club's hard work. Do you know what I mean? It's not just my staff work hard. The ground staff work hard. Administration side work hard. So it's it's a real team effort. So it's always a little bit. I get a little bit embarrassed really, but it's a team effort. So it's it's lovely.
What were your November highlights personally?
God, dear me. I mean, the Western game was good, but it's I don't really see highlights in football. It's a typical Paul Wotton answer, really. But it's like it was a long month. But we had to work hard. We had some good results. There were some good moments and some not so good moments. So all in all, it was a good month for us. But that's all it was, a good month.
And it's good for the club to sort of put it on the map a little bit right now.
Yeah, I mean it's we're doing okay. We're doing okay. It's we're coming up to the month just gone's been good. We're coming into a really tough month now. So it's you can never sit there and enjoy it. It's always there's always another game, always another training session, always another player to sign, or there's always a problem somewhere. So enjoy it for a little bit, but just move on.
I know you were saying about Tuesday night, it might not have been the greatest game of football that supporters here would have seen, but getting through to the next round of the FA Trophy was important for the club. Yeah,
it's a competition we want to do well in. As you quite rightly say, it definitely won't go down as a classic. But in cup football, it's all about getting through to the next round, and that's what we did. It was a solid, hard-working display, I would say. It certainly won't live long in the memory bank.
And it leads nicely, the victory at least, onto Saturday at home against Farnborough. What are your thoughts ahead of that game?
Yeah, tough game. I mean, we lost in the second game of the season up at Farnborough. They've got a lot of forward threat, some good players. They're a little bit of a hybrid actually, because they can mix it up as well. They're very physical as well. So we're in for a tough game. But we'll be ready, and we're looking forward to it, and we'll be as prepared as we can be, and hopefully get another good result. But it's never as easy as that.
No, and indeed both yourself and Farnborough could go top with a win, and results elsewhere sort of going your way. It's a big game, top of the table.
It's third v fourth, I think, isn't it? So I mean, look, wherever we are in the league table, come 5 o'clock, it's we're not even halfway through the season. So all I know is that my full focus is on Farnborough the next game, and it'll be a tough one.
How's your squad looking for Saturday, Paul?
We're okay. We've got Krask. Krask should be back in full training next week. Matty Wanacott is stepping up a level, and Cody Cook 50-50 at best. So I'll know a lot more about Cody within the next 24 hours.
Good luck for the weekend.
Cheers, thank you.
Sam Dreyer didn't have a part to play on Tuesday night. Is it a question at this point of the season just looking after your resources and giving somebody a rest maybe?
Yeah, I think so. I think that it's a perfect chance to do that on Tuesday night. Ed needed a game. Brad Ash needed a game. And Oscar came back in. So the Sam Dreyer one, he's not 21 till January. He's played an awful lot of football. And it's him and Jordan Dyer have been playing very well together. But Jordan obviously missed 8 weeks early on in the season through injury. And I just felt like he needed the 90 minutes more than Sam did.
And I thought the fans on Tuesday night were really pleased to see Brad Ash get a goal, especially a goal like that, similar to the one he got at Chesham. Are we reading too much into that, or is there confidence that a player can get from a long run without scoring and then getting a goal like that?
Yeah, definitely. I think there's. He was unlucky not to score when he came on against Enfield as well in the game before. I I'm a bit strange actually. I don't always judge my centre forwards on the amount of goals they score. Brad is a goal scorer, but Brad also brings other things to the squad as well. He's got a tremendous work ethic. He's always very, very honest on the football pitch, trains hard, and he's a great human to have about the place as well. He's a lovely, lovely guy. Brad's an important part of the squad.
Any more progress on Will Jenkins-Davies and
No,
his
Dave.
own situation? No, that's fine. A straight answer to a straight question.
No, it's
Yeah, it's ongoing.
ongoing.
Fine.
Yeah.
Did Tuesday night you were able to do one or two things, and obviously Lirak's out for the next two matches.
Yeah.
Got through the main thing. Were you able to walk away and think and say, well, not learnt one or two things, but being able to take more out of it than just the.
I'll be really honest with you, Dave. I haven't analysed it too much.
Right.
I haven't. I just cup games are one-off games, I think, and it was purely a case of getting through. We knew it would be a tough night. By the way, Horsham are, they're a league below, but they're no fools. And I thought they played well on the night.
Some good stuff.
They did, and I thought they carried a threat as well in forward areas. Having said that, we were far from at our best. I was the first to acknowledge that, but a lot of a big percentage of that has to go down to how well Horsham played. I thought they pressed us. They were very front-footed. You could see they were bang up for the game, and they kept going right till the end. Even after our second goal, they kept going and kept posing a threat. So I had a feeling it would be a tough night.
You always felt it might be that way.
Yeah, I think so. It had that. They're coming down here to Torquay, and they haven't travelled all the way from Horsham to roll over. So it was a game we wanted to win, and I think we did just about enough to get through. I'm not going to lie to you. I normally always watch our games back. I'm not in a hurry to watch that one back.
And in many ways, it followed a bit of a pattern with us. Is that, and I don't know if you agree, that we do get to teams eventually, and if you keep working hard enough and keep the pressure off it, I think the feeling that most of us had, whereas I'm sure you weren't 100% happy at half time, but the longer the second half went on, although they did keep going, we just seemed to start to get to them, as we have done in quite a few other games.
Yeah, I think in a huge percentage of games, especially at home, I think we have finished pretty strong.
Yeah.
I think you're quite right. I think we're the group are fit. They're fit, and I think there's definitely times in any game of football where you're not going to have it all your own way, and the opposition team are going to have a spell of pressure. And if you're quite comfortable letting them have that spell and seeing it out for 5, 10, 15 minutes, then at some point we are going to come back into the game. So
it's not a bad habit to have that.
No, I mean, ideally we'd rather have the ball for 96 minutes and no one touch it and be 3 or 4 up, but that's, as we all know, it's never going to be the case in a game of football. So no, I think you're quite right, and it's a good observation for me. I think it's a good habit to have. Yes. Hopefully we keep that habit.
We seem to be getting through, and I know you've worked very hard on this, being able, this ability to get through not
tough
great
moments.
Spells,
tough moments,
without conceding goals. And our goals against column tells us that we're not bad at that. Is that something that in your back of your mind you're thinking we need to keep that ability going for the rest of this season?
I think absolutely we need to try to keep that going. Yeah, I think any good team is always built from solid foundations. We have been a bit fragile at certain times in games earlier in the season. Now, listen, we haven't cracked it. We're nowhere near cracking it, but it's slowly becoming embedded into the players that you're not going to always have it your own way in any game of football, and at some times you got to dig deep and do gritty, horrible stuff, even at home at times.
It's a squad game. increasingly, because obviously you can use 5 subs. You used 4 subs, I think, on Tuesday night. One of them, Matt Carson, came on and set up a goal within 2 or 3 minutes and was indirectly involved in the other goal.
Yep.
So you must be pleased with the way that he came on and showed a bright spark down the left there.
Yeah, obviously Matty's found himself out of the side
Yeah.
over the past 5-6 games. What I will say about Matty, he hasn't sulked, he hasn't moaned. His training standards have actually gone up since he's come out of the team, so he's definitely making me sit up and take notice. And as you quite rightly say, I thought he'd come on and made a very positive impact on Tuesday. It wasn't a pre-planned substitution. Jay got booked early, and it's just not worth the risk of another suspension. I mean, we've got a healthy squad at the minute, but Tuesday night, Lirac's suspended, Cook and Krask get injured, and you can have 7 subs in the trophy. We only had 5, so it's not like we've got 26 players to choose from. We haven't, so running the risk of another suspension was too high. So, but you're quite right, Matty came on, I thought he'd made a very, very positive impact in the game.
A player who's technically on loan, but you must almost feel like he's a permanent signing, is Jordan Thomas, who's come in at right back. I imagine you're pretty pleased with the contribution he's making at the moment.
Yep.
He seems to be gaining in confidence with every game. He looks more grown up with each match. And I think obviously on Tuesday night he showed he can play in more than one position.
Yep.
Does he feel like a permanent signing to you? Because you've got him to the end of the season.
Well, I would love that to be the case.
Yeah.
I think when a player's in the building, you treat them as yours, and you do the best by that player as best as you possibly can. Jordan Thomas I've spoken about before, is someone I rate very highly. I think I've said before as well that he's a player I tried to sign when he was a free agent in the summer. Had discussions with himself and his agent, and unfortunately we lost out. But it's you never know what happens in football. He became available again, and we went for it. I just think he's a top athlete. I think he's an infectious character. He sets very high standards in training, and as you quite rightly say, I'm very pleased with him at the moment.
You had a couple of words for Dean Moxey last week, and obviously he came on.
Yep.
Did well this
Yep.
week, so he's still very much part of the squad, isn't he?
Absolutely. Huge influence.
39 next month.
He's a huge influence, He's a huge influence. And as I said, just to reiterate my point from last week, I think it deserves. I think to have a long career as a player in professional football is really tough. It's really tough, and it's not luck. It's not luck. You of course you have to have elements of luck in your career, and you have to, the right place at the right time, or play well in a big game, or in front of the right person, or all these sorts of things. But ultimately, it comes down to your work ethic, your standards, your attitude, and he's a shining example of that. To still be going at 39, he's still very, very fit. As you said, he came on Tuesday night, didn't put a foot wrong. I trust him. I've got no problem playing him. He is officially a player coach, and I mean, when he's not in the squad on match days, he's great. He's got a lot of knowledge, obviously, as he would have, and he's slowly getting into that role as well. But I just think that when you've played that many games and for that long, I think you deserve a tremendous amount of credit.
And to still have the desire to be playing.
Yeah, absolutely. Because, listen, sometimes you're waking up to go training, and I know everyone's like, you're living the dream, you're kicking a football for a living. I guarantee you some days you wake up and you don't want to go and do it because, whether it's pouring down with rain, freezing cold, windy, or you've just woke up with the ump and you don't want to do it. It's like any other job. You still get days when you don't want to do it, although we're tremendously fortunate. And as you're quite right, I think desire is a great word to still get up and do it every single day. You know, and that's younger lads have to look at that. And if you want that longevity in football, it's all well and good being 19, 20, 21. Yeah, I want to, you know, I earn my living through playing football. That's why I'll do that for the next 10 years. It's not that easy. It's not that easy. You have to work really, really
We've seen
hard.
plenty of players drop out.
Tons.
Yeah.
I've played with loads.
Yeah.
Played with loads at 20, 21, really good players. Not playing when they're 28, 29.
Yeah.
It's tough.
On the loan front, how's the reports of, we've got 3 out, haven't we, still?
Yep.
Ben, Ollie and
Jaden.
Jaden. Doing okay. I know you get reports weekly about that. A couple of them must be coming up fairly soon,
Yep.
for whether they stay or come back.
So
Any
Jaden,
news on that front?
Jaden's is up on the 2nd of January at Gloucester. He's doing very, very well. Scored 3 goals. And as we spoke about, you know how highly I rate Jaden.
Yeah.
And Ben and Ollie Tomlinson are up on the 22nd of December. They're away to Welling on Saturday. And we've heard good reports back from them, from Bath, that they've both been doing very well, as we knew they would.
And then obviously decisions will be made nearer the day,
Yeah.
whether they stay or come back to it.
Yeah, well, football changes daily, doesn't it? You know, if we get injuries, Bath are currently looking for a new manager as well. You know, so you know, there's lots of water to go under the bridge before those decisions get made.
Yeah.
When is Kiki Jeffers loan up?
2nd of January.
Good to give him a few minutes on Tuesday night.
Yeah, Kiki's. You know, it's his first loan, and he's young. So he's working away, and he'll get minutes when we see fit.
The festive period normally attracts bigger crowds.
Yeah.
You know, different people come to play more than maybe don't normally do. Does that warrant an extra chat with the players about bumper crowds, bigger occasions, or is it a consistent message that they already really take on?
I don't think I would need to highlight that to the players. They're very fortunate to play in front of big crowds every week. The crowds of the average attendance this season has been fantastic. So they know, you know, they know there'll be big crowds. Hopefully, more than normal, which would be great. We all want to play in front of big crowds, you know. So no, I won't be saying anything special to the players. I think they appreciate how fortunate they are to be playing in front of a tremendous fan base.